Escapism. Escapism can be defined as a habitual diversion of the mind to purely imaginative activity or entertainment as an escape from reality or routine. Or in other words, a hobby one has to escape from reality. Over the course of 3 weeks, I have interviewed 3 different people who have shared their experience with escapism and how it has affected their lives. Moving on, here are the interviews. Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
That's good. Can you please tell us your name,
I'm Kirsten.
your age,
I'm 15.
and then what grade are you in?
I'm in 10th grade.
Okay. I'm going to be asking you the following questions regarding escapism. And the first one would be, how long do you think you've been escaping?
I started doing like a lot of sports and activities since I was probably 6 to 8 years old, so probably from a young age.
Why do you find yourself needing to escape?
I don't think I have a need to escape. I just think that I have a lot of activities that wound up making me like escape life and like school and all that stuff.
What are the activities you would do to escape?
So I do gymnastics. So those two sports are very demanding sports. I train like a good 12 plus hours a week, so it's a lot of work. I'll tell you that.
Do you think there's a reason why these certain things help you escape?
These sports, they do help me in many ways. Without gymnastics, I wouldn't be able to do track. And without gymnastics, I probably wouldn't be a good student in school. So these sports definitely do help me with a lot of stuff.
Why do you think gymnastics helps you with school?
I think it just helps me focus a lot. Like usually, in gymnastics, I'm always trying to focus on the skills that I'm doing, and I think I carried that to school too. Like I always try to focus on the work that I'm doing in that class.
Okay. And the last question: how did you find out about escapism?
I found out about escapism through your project. I didn't even know escapism was a word until this whole project that you showed me. So.
Okay, thank you for letting me interview you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
That's good.
Can you please tell us your name
My name is Livy Rodriguez.
and your age
I'm 16 years old.
and what grade are you in?
I'm in 10th grade.
Okay, I'll be asking you the following questions regarding escapism. And the first one will be, how long have you been escaping?
I think I've been escaping since the year quarantine started, so year 2019.
Why did you find yourself needing to escape?
I found myself needing to escape because of the amount of pressure that school was putting on me. And, I feel like there was already an inherent amount of, inspiration to escape, to try and find who I actually was, my identity in quarantine. And I think escapism really propelled that for me. Escapism has a connotation of being negative, of trying to avoid your schoolwork, trying to avoid life in massive amounts of time. And so it's assumed that escapism negatively affects you. But I think that it really does have a positive, it should have a positive connotation on your life, because escapism, it can propel you in different fields of your life, such as sports, such as art, such as your identity, such as social media. Social media can propel you in ways that you can't even imagine, such as trying to find political aspirations that can have a positive effect in society.
What would you say that are the things you did during these times to escape?
I would say I started off with art, but with escapism, I think I left that, and I started to propel more books and studies such as civil rights, such as mental health, such as psychology, such as topics that weren't really talked about in school or in middle school. And I wanted to learn about more than just the requirements in school that I needed. I wanted to learn more about people. I wanted to learn about what the world could offer you and what you could offer the world. And that's what really, propelled me. It was to escape in a positive way, but it was also a negative way that pushed me. So I can't really say 50-50. I can say that it was about it was a fluid movement.
How did you find out about escapism?
I don't think I've, found out escapism word, escapism, the meaning. I already had like
An idea?
an idea of what it was. So in quarantine, I found out about psychology and how people think, and I think that just fascinated me. How people could have different thinking styles, how people could live, how people could identify, and that's what fascinated me. How people were able to think and behave, and just the whole complexity of what a person could be. And so with psychology and all that, infatuated together, I had a deep meaning of what escapism could be. But, I didn't search it up or anything. I think it just, came to me. And that's how I found out what escapism was.
Okay. Thank you for being here with me and letting me interview you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm doing well. Like, we just finished a good workout, a little sore, but gearing up for today's Saturday meet.
Okay. I'm going to be asking you the following questions regarding escapism. And the first one would be, how long have you been escaping?
Since really 7th grade. I started track in 6th grade, but I took it more seriously and actually put time into it during 7th grade.
Why do you find yourself needing to escape?
It's just really fun. It's kind of a outlet of energy just to get everything out, the bad vibes built up through the school week and at home. It's nice to exert myself physically so I can go home, go to sleep, and be relaxed.
What are the things you did to escape?
Track and field. Yeah, it's my thing, kind of.
And that's it? You don't play video games?
I do kind of just have some variety in life. You need to take everything with a grain of salt and do everything in moderation, because you can't be too focused on one thing, because then you'll just end up hating it. So I do play video games. I like to go hiking. Seeing my girlfriend going on little dates is nice also.
Why do you think these things help you escape?
They're just things I enjoy. Dopamine, serotonin in my head, and I think I'm becoming a better person while doing these things. Like spending time with my girlfriend, I think she makes me more patient and more kind, being more driven on the track and being more focused. It's just good things, building skills for the real world eventually.
And how did you find out about escapism?
I mean, you told me like a couple months ago. I looked into it briefly, but it does seem like an interesting topic.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for letting me interview.
No problem.
Yeah, that's it.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
I'm going to be interviewing you on escapism and asking the following questions.
Okay.
When did you first learn about escapism?
I don't know that I've ever heard about escapism described as escapism. I know that when we're doing something, especially something that's work, a lot of times we may take a break in our mind, depending what it is. For example, in school, if you're doing schoolwork, I'll have to close it down a little bit. If you're doing schoolwork, sometimes it can get boring and you need a break, or you could lose focus, and you need a break for that reason too. So, but we all get off track, I think, when we're doing something. Depending on how motivated we are. For example, I know you are a very good student, and you have very good grades.
Thank you.
So if you get on track, you get back on track when you get distracted. Let me ask you this: when you do your schoolwork, do you get distracted?
I try not to, because I know it can mess me up later. So not really. I've trained myself not to.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've established a routine of you sit down and you do your homework and you get it done. So that's good. That'll take you far in life. I think that when you look at students that don't have as good at grades, you'll find more and more escapism that they're engaging in. One of the problems that I see on campus a lot, and in this day and age, are the cell phones. because everybody has cell phones. Everybody is, I mean, the internet is right there. You can text friends, and you can only really focus on one thing at a time. And if I start texting, I lose focus of what's going on around me. So I think that when you get into the students that have very high grades like you do, then I think you're going to see less and less of that. Or if it's there at all, and they'll get right back on track. Those students will tend to get right back on track. So, I think a lot of it has to do with what your motivation is. Some people go through college, and their goal is to just get by. Get their degree, get a job, and get by. But they're not really, their primary goal is not to internalize and learn all the material as well as they can. So, I'm somewhat guilty of the first camp, kind of just getting through. And sometimes I feel like I wish I could go back and read what it was I was supposed to read for those classes. But somebody like you, and my daughter's the same way, you learn what you're supposed to learn right then and there, which, it gives you a lot of depth that is very good, especially for higher education, if you go for your doctorate or something like that.
Like, when you first learned about it, did you think it was like a negative thing, or do you think it affected people positively?
We all have our thresholds and how much we can apply ourselves to something. When I asked you that earlier, you said that you've learned and you've gotten in the habit and trained yourself to keep going until you're done. So I think that our brains are always learning, and the more we learn, the more efficient we become at learning. So, I think it's a positive. It's a positive thing in moderation, because everyone needs to take a break every now and then. So, yeah, we all need to have that ability. But the point of the school is to learn. And if our main focus is escapism, like this, we're spending most of our time escaping. And escape is, implies that you are somewhere stuck, having to do your job, and if you get out, you escaped. Escaping doesn't mean running around being escaped the whole time, and then every now and then sitting down for a couple of minutes, and trying to learn something. You can escape at lunch and escape, during between classes, and escape when you get out, go home, except when you have to do your homework. But I think it's good to be able to shift gears, to have that escapism in your repertoire. But I think these should be banned. I think kids leave these at home.
And would you be comfortable sharing some escapisms you might have, and how they?
Are you kidding? Well, it's a big one for me. Is football games. But I don't know if I'm escaping because I've done my work. So an escapism would be, games on the phone is an escapism. Making a phone call to a friend. Those are some of my escapisms.
Oh, okay.
I'm very interested in neuroplasticity, how the brain learns and how the brain changes with learning. So I have an app, a game, if you will, but they're brain games. So they kind of try to stretch your brain. So that's what I like to do, and when I have a couple minutes free time.
No.
So, but I think it's very good to be doing your work and be on top of it. So I'll redirect myself quickly. When I feel like escaping, I'll slap myself in the face. Not hard, come on, wake up, and get back to work.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
After interviewing these people, I have come to realize everyone has a different story or experience with escapism, and it's not always just escape, escape, escape. These people all have different lives, but somehow with escapism, they can relate or connect with each other. I'm glad I had the chance to interview them, and I hope later in life I can continue making personal projects on my own time.